Hi, I'm Arnie Skelton, and each week in this podcast series, I'm going to offer you my top 10 tips on particular topics or themes that might be of interest to you as a teacher or manager, or both. Hi, and welcome to this week's podcast, which is probably a bit shorter than usual because what I thought I'd do this week is just take you through my top 10 favourite development books of all time. Obviously, I've been around a while and read quite a few books, and I just thought I'd take the opportunity to recommend to you my top 10 development books. They're not in any order, and I just think they're an absolutely great read and really have helped me and may well help you. So off we go, the top 10 development books that I've come across. Tip number 1 is Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you want to get on top of habits, remove bad ones and develop better ones, this is absolutely the best book on the market. It's jam-packed full of really good ideas and advice. So this is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Tip number 2 is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. This is an autobiography by an Auschwitz survivor. It's only a short book, it's very moving, it's well written, easy to read, and it focuses on how he survived by having a mindset that allowed him to look after himself and look after others. And a memorable moment in the book is he says something along the lines of, they took away everything from me, my freedom, my family, in some ways my health, but they couldn't take what was going on between my two ears in my head. And as long as I was able to give meaning to my life and that of those around me, I was committed to surviving. And he did, of course, survive. So that's Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, F-R-A-N-K-L. Tip number 3, or book number 3, is Being Happy by Andrew Matthews. I feel this book should be bought and given out to every child sort of entering junior school. It's fantastic. Andrew Matthews started his career as a professional cartoonist and only got into personal development later on. He is brilliant and insightful and so easy to read. But what makes the book really outstanding is he is a cartoonist and he has some fantastic cartoons throughout the book which really help embed and cement the messages he's putting across. So it's a very entertaining read. It's absolutely brilliant, and you should give it out to children and teenagers and of course any adults that you think would value it. And it's a fantastic book, Being Happy by Andrew Matthews. And tip number 4 is The 4-Hour Working Week by Tim Ferriss. It's quite a thick book, but again, a compelling read. And essentially, his key message is we work too long and too hard for too little effect. And he is a real radical and has some brilliant ideas on how you can reduce effort and increase productivity. I don't really want to say any more than that because it's Tim's gig and he is brilliant at it. So book number 4, The 4-Hour Working Week by Tim Ferriss. He's an American and so is the next author. Tip number 5, Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. I'm an NLP master practitioner and I'm a big fan of NLP, and he's an NLP guru in many ways. A very passionate speaker, very compelling speaker, powerful speaker, and that comes across in his 2 key books, Unlimited Power and Awaken the Giant Within. Either of them are great reads. They're a bit American, so you have to get past that, but his messages are fantastic and very powerful. So that's book number 5, tip number 5, Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. Tip number 6, Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck. I'm a big fan of a growth mindset and how it contrasts with fixed mindset, and I really think it's powerful. And she's the generator of this whole idea, this new field of development. If you or your children seem a bit limited and restricted in their ability to stretch and grow, then this is the book for you. There's some fantastic videos as well, but it's an easy book to read. It's only short, and this is Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck. Book number 7. Yeah, I think this is the one that most people might have come across who are listening to this. This is The Chimp Paradox by Dr. Steve Peters. It's fantastic. It's a book I kind of wish I'd written, because so many of the things he talks about are so true to me and for me, and the book has really helped me address some of my hang-ups and difficulties. It helped me deal with my chimp. I think we all have chimps, and so it's a universally applicable book. Really highly recommended if you have any issues to do with that internal voice that brings you down, that puts you down, that raises doubt and uncertainty and anxiety and fear. Then that's the chimp speaking to you, and this book will help you massively address that for the better. That's book number 7, The Chimp Paradox by Dr. Steve Peters. Tip number 8 is possibly the oldest book on the list, 8 or 9, possibly the oldest, and this is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. I read this a long time ago, and it completely transformed my way of thinking about fear and how to deal with it, and it stayed with me forever. And it's an outstanding read. I think pretty straightforward, but life-changing. So if you have anything that bothers you about being afraid, being fearful, not being prepared to take on challenges, perhaps having reduced self-confidence, this is an absolute must-read. So that's book number 8, Feel the Fear by Susan Jeffers. Book number 9 is Getting to Yes by Fisher and Udy. Fisher, Fisher, and Udy, Udy. Quite an old book, but brilliant. And this is really about how to negotiate with somebody and generate positive influence. And it's a great book in 2 key ways. One, that the book itself is easy to read, easy to understand. But what I found outstanding was there's a little appendix at the end in which they put all their practical advice from the main part of the book into a little case study to show you how to utilize their ideas in a practical way. And I thought that appendix was brilliant, and still stays with me. So there's some fantastic advice there in how to build and maintain a good relationship, especially if it starts off to be a bit difficult. And the title's fantastic, isn't it? Getting to Yes. How do you get other people's buy-in and agreement, especially if they're not already on side? So hugely influential book. Getting to Yes by Fisher and Udy. And forgive me, it's a little plug. I'm putting my own book on the list at book number 10, which is The Wizard Book of Management, available from Amazon. And it's my top 100 tips for the everyday manager. 100 things that a manager can do that might make a positive difference. So it's an easy read. All 100 tips are no more than 2 pages long. So it's what I kind of call a toilet book. You know, you can park it in the loo and just pick it up and have a read every now and then. And you can dip into the book. You know, it doesn't matter which order you read things in. They're all just simple tips that are kind of easy to understand and apply. And that's by me and Diane, my colleague, and it's The Wizard Book of Management. So that's it. Those are my top 10 reads of all time. Just to recap them again. Number 1, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Number 2, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Tip number 3, Being Happy by Andrew Matthews. Tip number 4, The 4-Hour Working Week by Tim Ferriss. Book number 5, Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. Book number 6 is The Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck. Book number 7, The Chimp Paradox by Steve Peters. Book number 8, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. Book number 9, Getting to Yes by Fisher and Udy. And book number 10, The Wizard Book of Management by yours truly, by me. So, happy reading. I hope some of those books will help you as they've helped me. So that's it. Thanks for listening. Bye for now. Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this podcast, make sure you subscribe. You will still get the podcast for free, but you will also get an alert to let you know when the next podcast is available. And please recommend the podcast to anyone else you think might like it and benefit from it. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a review and any other comment, because they'll help promote the podcast series on the relevant platform. So, bye for now.